Donut Bag is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Your data is your business. Protect it with ExpressVPN. For 3 extra months free with a 1-year package, go to the link listed in my Twitter profile. Okay, so always good to talk Steelers with my buddies, LeeAnn Lowman and a person. I'm assuming that's Allison. Can you talk through that? I was going to say, yes.
I can. I think so. I'm pretty,
Okay.
My voice carries.
I absolutely love that you wrote the record on there. That's usually when teams are like, 0-11 or something like that, they would put bags on their heads. We are putting bags on our heads at a 5-5-1 record. And because we're feeling ultimate shame, and this is how all Steeler fans are right now. We think we're basically the equivalent of the Detroit Lions.
Right. We can suddenly commiserate.
The Detroit Lions right now in our minds, right?
Right.
We can't even beat them.
No.
Oh,
Facts.
my goodness.
Facts.
Good. Might as well have been a loss, like everybody says. Might as well have been a loss.
Yeah.
I tweeted that the Steelers are not only going to not win again this year, but they may not win for the next 1,000 years. The only thing preventing them from going,
Your most liked tweet, I'm sure.
the only thing that preventing them from going 0-17 every year is if they go to an 18-game seasons, and then they'll go 0-18 every year.
0-18, there you go. Oh, come on.
This is it.
It's all over.
It's all over.
Doom and gloom from here on out.
Sell the team.
There's sell the team. Paper bags for everyone.
Start handing them out instead of programs at the games.
Or instead of towels, just
Right.
paper
Paper bags.
Paper bags, white towels. We're done. Today felt like a funeral. Today felt like the death of a franchise.
That was one of the worst losses that I can remember, and I'm older than people think I am. So
worst loss of the Tomlin era for sure, right?
For sure had to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, if not just the score, just how, they didn't even put up a fight. There was no sense of urgency. There was no at least against the Chargers, there was that spark where just all of a sudden they got their heads out of their asses and just decided, okay, we're going to actually try and win this game. We're going to try and be in this game. And they made it an amazing finish, albeit, kind of sad at the same time.
Right.
But there was none of that in this game yesterday.
Even last season when we lost to the Browns, and that was like so frustrating and sad and defeating, and we had all those turnovers, at least you felt like the team kept picking themselves up and going back out there and trying. Now, I felt like we were forcing it and it wasn't successful, but at least you felt like they were trying. I don't know. Yesterday, I didn't even feel like anybody was trying. And I don't remember the last time I really felt like that. Maybe a player or somebody not doing what they're supposed to, but it felt like oh my God. He makes my eye twitch. I don't even know why he's on the field anymore. I don't know what he's doing. And I didn't think he had a head injury, but that's what he looks like. Cause it's like he has no idea where he's supposed to be. He's never running the correct route. He's never in the right place. He hangs back and waits for them to come and engage with him instead of going up to meet. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, it's like, what did he do all last season? What do players do when they're rehabbing? Aren't they? They're still supposed to do football-y things, right? Obviously they can't physically, but you would think mentally he would be dialed in. He would be, at least trying to kind of keep with the program, so to speak, so that when he did come back, he would be on top of things. And it seems like it's not even the injury. Arthur Moats was on, the Fan or something the other day and saying, it's not the injury. Like, it's not his knee that's an issue. It's not physical.
So is he scared?
What's that?
Is he scared?
Right. Yeah. It's a mental,
he
thinks it's more of a mental thing than it is.
I think being scared it has a lot to do with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you got the surgery doesn't mean that you're fully confident that you could actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
If it was the physical piece, I feel like we would see him out there trying and just not able to get there. But we don't even see like the the effort. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's constantly hanging back and waiting for the players to come engage with him, and instead of going up to meet the line. And I don't know what he's doing. It's like he doesn't know where he is half the time, and
he looks lost.
He really looks lost, and I'm not sure I understand why he's still out on the field.
Right. Yeah. And then you
like
wonder,
anything would be better.
Usually they put Robert Spillane in there, and now he's injured.
Well, he's hurt.
It's like, what are they, what are their options? Like the options, their depth is, I think the depth of the Steelers this season is uglier than it's been, than I remember in years. And and that's, especially this time of year, that's what teams rely on to kind of keep them going in situations like this. And they just don't have that depth to fall back on.
But then it's so frustrating because you look at other teams that get decimated with injuries and they still find a way to do it. And I just
look at the Ravens.
I feel like whenever it's right, and I was gonna say the Ravens, but whenever it's us, it feels like, we lose somebody or somebody gets hurt. You're like, oh, there goes our season. And it shouldn't be that way. Like, we should be able to keep a team from scoring 41 points on us. I mean,
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. I mean, it's just embarrassing. And
well, I mean,
paper bag.
I mean, none of the linebackers are doing well, and that's because the defensive line is absolutely horrible.
Terrible.
Decimated. There's so many injuries up and down, and we just never really, have been able to make up for the loss of Alou and Stephon Tuitt. And it's like, why not? They've been gone forever. We've been playing most of the season without these guys, and we have no answer for the void that they've created.
And if something's not working, then do something different, because we're not barely winning with this. You know what I mean? We're losing badly. So if this isn't working, then what does it hurt to just try something different? And maybe you find the formula that works.
It's just, even remember the Seattle game. That one, what they were up like 14-0, something like that, and in the second half they were running at will on the Steelers, and it took them like an entire quarter to adjust to put a stop to it. Why is it taking so long? Same thing with the Detroit game. They gash us, and it takes us like 1 or 2 quarters to figure it out. Do something, just make adjustments quicker. And we just found out today. This is something I've heard a million times, but it's basically confirmed. Tomlin is the actual defensive coordinator. Keith Butler has nothing to do with the defense. Very little to do. Maybe he's like, he helps. Maybe he helps Devin Bush, like show him which way he's supposed to point. Like, go that way, buddy. But other than that, like, it's Tomlin. Tomlin is the one calling the plays. He's doing everything with the defense, and he is failing miserably. So for all the people that say fire Tomlin, which I think is comical, but he does deserve.
He can't be
blame.
The defensive coordinator. It's craziness. He can't. You have to have somebody in that head coach role. And I know that when you get defensive coaches, they like to chip in on that and help out with that, but then it can't be your job that you're doing both those roles out on the field during a game.
Yeah. Change it up. Get some. Hey, there's that Terrell Austin guy on the. He used to be a defensive coordinator. Have him call the play. Have him do something. I can't. It's too much. It's too much for somebody to be the head coach, having to make all the decisions, and be a coordinator too of the entire defense. It's too much. Let someone else do it.
Yeah,
and how do you not, when you're losing, step back? Do you know what I mean? Like, say, like, whoa, this is on me, guys. You know what I mean? And step back.
He needs to delegate, and it seems like Tomlin doesn't want to give up, certain aspects of the game, or at least admit. Even last week in a press conference, some of the media had asked him, how much say do you have, in the defensive and the offensive plays? It's like, oh, I have, quite a bit of, more than just a say. And then it just kind of snowballed into, Keith Butler hasn't called, hasn't called a play in however many games. And it's like, just leads you to wonder, well, maybe they should look at how they're operating there in Pittsburgh.
Well, and that's part of what concerns me about Matt Canada being up in the booth instead of being down on the field. That a lot of times when you see those teams where your head coach is sort of a defensive minded coach, you have that offensive coach down there on the field with you to kind of be like that assistant coach, like that balancing piece. Do you know what I mean? Down there on the field, and him being up on the booth. I mean, maybe I'm way off base here, but it something should give. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's a disconnect. I don't feel like he's getting the information. Put somebody else can sit up there and tell you what they see. You can see plenty from down on the field.
Canada could be in the booth. He could be on the field. He could be right next to Ben. It's not going to matter. It ain't working. It ain't working with Matt Canada and this team.
Something different. Just something different has to be done. I mean, if he's the guy and Tomlin feels really strongly about that, then I would be telling him you need to switch something up and do something different. You need to come down. You need to, I don't know, something has to give. But the play calling is absurd. I mean, a kindergartner could figure out what they're going to do and form a defense against it. I mean, we no longer throw screen passes to the wide receivers, so many things that we just aren't doing. And I mean, you watch other teams and it's so frustrating. We never make any adjustments.
Well, speaking of the wide receivers, I like Deontay. Other than that, James Washington basically does nothing. Chase Claypool, I don't want to use the B word. I don't want to call him a bust, but that dude really needs to reevaluate things for next season, because he had a great rookie season and this season has been horrible.
Yeah. You have to wonder if that season, just got to his head, that he's a young guy and, he's surrounded by, greatness in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. And he just seems to think that that's enough, that maybe he doesn't have to, progress from there.
It's very easy to do. It's very easy to have success and think, oh my God, Hall of Fame, here I come. I got this figured out. I got this whole NFL thing is easy. I got this figured out.
Right.
And he's just been such a disappointment this year. All he does is fall, forget about combat catches. And he's very immature. And I don't know if what he was saying today about, hey, we need music in the practice, I don't know if that's a joke or what's going on. But that's literally.
It was a terrible comment.
Well, Steelers.com,
really, whether it was a joke or not.
Here's what's perplexing. Steelers.com, usually you can go there and you could watch the video footage of the entire press conference from start to end. Not with this one. So it's kind of like, it kind of makes you wonder, because, Brooke Pryor mentioned the comment and so did Didi Kinkabwala mentioned his comment, but you wonder what context was that in? Was he saying it, like you said, was he joking? Was he serious? But then he followed up with, music at practice is something he's been asking for since his days at Notre Dame, and he's never gotten it, but he figures, well, Mike Tomlin's been at this a long time. He must know what he's doing. So it's like, what do you mean?
Weird comment.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. And to not have the whole press conference, to not know what the context was around it, it's hard to say. Point.
Literally today, one of the big things was Ryan Clark's rant on the
saw
Steelers. That. He even mentioned here. It's not about upholding what Joe Green did, what Jack Lambert did. It's not about what James Harrison did, Casey Hampton, James Ferrier, Troy Polamalu. Those days are gone. We want to be cute now, right? We want to make videos. We want to do TikToks. We want to dance in the locker room. We want to be the team that everyone loves to be around. We want to make jokes. We want to smile. We want to have fun. Pittsburgh football ain't about having fun. Pittsburgh football is about dominating people on the field because of your physicality. But that ain't what y'all want. What y'all want to do right now is show up and y'all want to live on the backs of legends. Don't nobody care about that no more. Young people aren't respectful to the past. In the past, Pittsburgh was something. This Pittsburgh defense ain't Jack. And I ain't talking about Jack Lambert. I ain't talking about Jack Ham. I'm talking about Jack, and you know what the rest of the word is. Y'all ain't that. He literally was referencing TikTok and all these things. And Chase Claypool today says, hey, we need more dancing.
Right. Yeah. So it just makes you wonder, did he, did the media, obviously he was a practice. Claypool was a practice when this whole get up thing, and I'm sure he probably didn't get a chance to go and see what Ryan Clark said. So the media it seems like the media maybe set him up, maybe asked him, it's sort of softball question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he answered it like he would because he's Chase Claypool, and now it's being printed all over the place that he wants music when they're 5-5-1.
Look, I'm really a big supporter of the young guys. I really think that it's absurd to expect that the young players in 2021 act like the young players of 1981 or 71 or 91 or whatever. I think it's every generation is different. I mean, anybody who has kids knows that. Anybody who ever interacts with anybody younger than you knows that. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make what somebody else did right. But all that really matters in football are results. And so when you're not getting results, then everything else you're going to do is going to be under a microscope. I don't begrudge the guys having any fun. I love Juju's TikToks. I think they're hysterical. I don't make them myself, but I enjoy them. I think it's fun. I think it's a great way for younger fans to interact and engage with the players in a different way than their parents would have, or their grandparents, or whoever. And I think that's what's coming in social media, and that's what's going to be expected of these young kids to engage next level with these fans is on these social media platforms. So you can hate it all you want, but I think it's the future. I think the issue is that you have to find a way to do that. If you're going to have fun, you got to still get results. Nobody wants to watch you dancing when you're 5-5-1.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be miserable like the rest of us.
Yeah.
The Steelers offense, the Steelers have the youngest offense in the entire league.
Yeah.
Average age of the offense. That's pretty impressive when you have Ben Roethlisberger
right
bringing that average up. This is an extremely young team. I heard something today that kind of makes sense, and I don't know if plans changed, but I think they viewed this year as a rebuild as much as, this is the closest thing to a rebuild we'll see with the Steelers.
Without saying we're in rebuild mode.
Right. When you have this many rookies, playing prominent roles, it kind of feels that way. And I mean, a lot of it was not planned. Nobody, they planned on having DeCastro. They probably planned on having Pouncey. So, they didn't plan what was going to happen with the offensive line. But I don't know. I don't know if Ben coming back through kind of threw a wrench in the plans. I don't know. But you have what you have this year is the cap went down because of COVID.
Right.
But next year they are going to have like the most space they've ever had and the most space of any team in the league. Right. So maybe this is all just getting ready for 2022.
Part of the plan. Know. Yeah.
Right. I don't know. But
I mean, we're not privy to that information. I think there's a lot of talks like that go on behind closed doors that obviously fans aren't privy to.
Yeah. But the whole thing with the kids and these kids with the TikTok. First of all, you mean to tell me the only NFL players on TikTok are on the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No.
I find that very hard to believe.
Not by a long shot.
But LeeAnn, you mentioned, young players in 81 and 91 and 2001. They weren't angels back then either. We just didn't know about it. Guys
doing cocaine and all kinds of stuff back then. And you know what I mean? But it wasn't on social media, and it was, it was quiet and hush hush. And so then it was okay. I mean, all the
not even hush hush. They'd go out to the bars.
True.
They'd go,
True.
They'd go partying and stuff. It's just there was no cell phone cameras to watch it. So
right.
You didn't know about
rumors. It. Yeah. But I think people have got it. I think it's not fair to expect somebody who's 22 to be 92 because that's the last time you felt our defense was great or offense was great or who this person should be emulating. I think you could still be emulating that person as a player and honoring the past while living in modern times. And I think it's unfair to expect otherwise. But like I said, I think in football and in all sports, it only put your money where your mouth is. It doesn't really matter. If you got to be able to back it up.
Exactly. If you're winning, everything's
You
fine.
can do whatever you want.
Dance all you want.
Right. Drop the Lombardi trophy and, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Throw
Drink
it.
beer out of the Stanley Cup. No one cares when you win.
I just wish I had a bag.
Next time we're all coming on with our bags. We don't go up to 6-5-1. We're coming back next week.
I love that you put the record on there. Like, we're freaking out and they don't even have a losing record.
Right. Yeah. And that -1, every time I see it, I'm just like,
so cringy.
You know what I mean? Like it's like a dagger in the heart.
Yeah, well, it was that last time we had that tie too, that season with the tie. It was the same way.
With the Browns, yeah.
With the Browns. Awful. Yeah, I was at that game. That was terrible.
I can't think of all of their wins and all of their losses, but when I see that -1, it's like, oh, I know exactly what that game was.
I know what that game was. Yeah.
It's like a horrible stain that we have to.
It is.
20 years from now, you know, when we're like walking with canes, I remember that tie
to the Lions.
I heard someone say that they're going to go 5-5-7. Let's just have 7 ties.
Oh, that would be the worst. I can't imagine. Nobody's ever had 2 ties, right? I can't think anybody ever had 2 ties.
I think I've seen 2 ties before. I'll have to
Google that.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. I don't remember.
If I thought that Siri would know, I would ask her right now.
Never know what you'll get from Siri.
It would probably order you a tie on Amazon or something like that.
Probably would, yeah.
Order you 2 ties.
Yeah, 2 ties, exactly.
The thing that annoys me most about ties is, and this happens every single time there's a tie, some of the players say, I didn't know what the rules were.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
Always. How did you not know? I thought it was like college.
Yeah.
College
is just, you know what? College, they changed the rules. So now you go from put it on the 25 and try to score a touchdown. You do that a few times. And then let's just do a 2-point conversion thing.
Right. Okay. So here's the answer. Since overtime was implemented in the NFL in 74, since then there have been 20 games, 40 teams that have tied. There have only been 2 years where more than one tied game has occurred, in 97 and 96, never with overlapping teams. And no team has ever scored 2 ties in one season.
Nice. There we go.
There we go.
So there have been 2 ties this season. It's just not been the same team.
Not the same team.
Gotcha.
Here we go. 2 ties.
So
come on. Let's make this.
Now we have a goal we can shoot for, an obtainable goal.
Hey, let's not beat the Ravens.
Just tie them.
Tie with the Ravens.
And everybody wins. That. We can get participation trophies.
Oh, goodness gracious. Man, you got to laugh. It keeps you from
crying. What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? You got to celebrate the small things. Deontay Johnson is much improved from last year. Every game, I think how great that is. Mm-hmm. How much better he is.
Mm-hmm.
I like. Yeah,
he's up for a contract. He's in a contract.
Yeah.
Not contract season, but
you got
to renew. Hopefully, I mean, you would think so anyway. So yeah,
he's worked his butt off, and it's impressive.
I'm really looking forward to this off season. This is going to be a crazy off season. This is going to be the craziest off season we've seen in a long time.
I want to say probably in the Kevin Colbert era, because if you think about it, you know, since Ben Roethlisberger's been around, things have been pretty stable. Yeah, stable throughout the off season. So, and they have so many holes and so many changes that they're going to have to make that, and there's so many question marks. Is Ben coming back? You know, he's going to wait until March. He might.
You better change the locks on those doors, Ben.
Right.
You're not allowed in the building anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Rooney makes it sound like it's Ben's call. Like, if he wants to come back, sure.
Oh, I think it is Ben's call. 100%. I think 100% they'll let Ben go out on his terms, however he wants to.
But he's tarnishing. That's the thing. As great as he is and as great as he was, and he's still better than anything the Steelers have on their roster right now, it seems like with games like he's been playing, he's sort of like tarnishing, his legend. You know what I mean? That he's going to be leaving behind. So,
I don't want to see him go out on like a down note or a sour note, like, I don't know, have to be benched or something terrible. I just don't want that for him. I want him to go out on his own terms, but on an even keel. Just if it's time to go, just go. Because we're going to have to find a quarterback at some point. So you might as well just rip the Band-Aid off and get it over with.
Right.
And I think our chance of drafting somebody to sit behind Ben is not happening next year.
I was watching the game with some friends, and one of them said, well, what they needed to do was prepare for Ben being gone. And I said, that was Mason. We did
do that. Thank you very much. It's terrible.
Look what happened. And
it's terrible.
I can't wait to hear from, if they do screw it up or something like that, as if every other coach and general manager is perfect and has never made a mistake, especially when evaluating quarterbacks.
Right.
I like the revisionist history of they should have tanked a couple years ago when Ben got hurt so they could get Justin Herbert.
Hindsight.
No, exactly. Hindsight is
hindsight is always a beautiful thing. Hindsight is always a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean Herbert. Nobody expected Herbert to be as as solid as a quarterback as he was from the get go. Like he really didn't. He didn't seem to have any issues transitioning.
And how many hundreds of quarterbacks or dozens of quarterbacks or whatever have come through the NFL that were expected to be great and were kind of a bust? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So many, more than there have been successes.
Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Sam Darnold. Was like, oh, it's just because he was with the Jets. Now he'll be good with the Panthers. He was good for 2 games, and then after that, it all went to hell.
Right.
It's such a crapshoot.
The list goes on. I mean, Jared Goff, even this year, Trevor Lawrence. We haven't seen there. The past couple drafts, we haven't really gotten a chance to see exactly, how the top quarterbacks taken are going to pan out. But right now, it's just seeming like they just, it's basically the Justin Herberts and the Kyler Murrays. Well, even Kyler Murray, gosh, his injury history. Yeah. But
I think it does have something to do with, obviously, with your setup. You're the best quarterback. You go to the worst team in the NFL. I mean, obviously that has an impact on how well you do. But regardless, I just don't think players are plug and play where you can pluck them out of somewhere else and put them in somewhere else and they solve all of your problems. And that's the case, and I think that's part of the problem we have with Mason. I just don't think he fits in with our system. I don't think he ever has. I don't think he's that good of a player. And then you're stuck with him year after year after year. And you just pray every week Ben doesn't get hurt.
If he was any good, he'd beat freaking Detroit.
If he was any good, he'd have done anything by now, but he hasn't. He's been in the system forever. I mean, how long, you know what I mean? I mostly hope to have a really good second quarterback, a decent backup. You're not expecting for somebody phenomenal to sit behind you, but they can at least come in and hand off a ball. And I don't know, he just.
At what point do we say, hey, Ben, we're evaluating Mason. We're benching you. I don't think that's ever going to happen. That's basically what happened with Eli Manning. His end was not good. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if they do what I think they're going to do and go like 8-1 or some crap like that, miss the playoffs and still have a bad draft position, we're screwed. Come on, guys, tank. Come on.
Tank for Pickett.
I would be perfectly happy with Kenny Pickett. I would perfectly happy.
Who knows? Now, as long as Ben, that's the thing. I would be okay with Pickett if Ben, wash my mouth out, if Ben stuck around.
Right.
I don't want Pickett to come in and then Mason be the starter and then Pickett learning behind
Mason's bad habits. No, thank you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So they have to have
There's no way
situation.
Ben would allow himself to be a backup. No way.
No. Ben was a starter.
Right. Ben would start.
Ben was a starter. And but then everybody would be screaming. There'd be the entire stadium would be like Pickett.
When Tommy Maddox was playing and everybody was screaming for Ben to come in, like every freaking game. I was there for those games. I was there for the game when Maddox got hurt, and Ben came in and won the game for us. I mean, you know, you know, you hate to see that because that what if thing is so tempting. You know what I mean? We've had that seasons with Mason where people think, you know, he could do something, and this is so tempting, you know, to bring this person in or to cheer for this person. But if Mason was a starter, Mason would be starting, and he is not anywhere. Nobody else was beating down the door for him.
Nope.
In a league that is starved for quarterbacks, you're right. Nobody was.
No one came asking for him.
I think workers at McDonald's make more than Mason Rudolph. I mean, there was no big, you know, yeah.
And I know that there's this big divide among fans, like the hate Rudolph camp and the love Rudolph camp. And I don't really understand either camp. I could care less. I don't love the kid. I don't hate the kid. I don't feel any type of way about the kid. I just want somebody who can play, and he can't. And if that was, you know, if it was somebody else that can, you know, I don't know, Haskins, and great, you know, whoever it is, I don't care. I just want somebody who can play. I don't know why we keep him when he can't.
Yeah,
it's got to be somebody better.
Going to be really interesting. And but that's the thing. It's like, they say, go Russell Wilson, get Russell Wilson here, get Jimmy G, get Aaron Rodgers. It's like,
right.
So you have to trade for all those people.
Right.
If you have to trade, if you have to trade for you know any of those, even Jimmy Garoppolo, you're losing at least a first round draft pick. They need as many draft picks. They need about 50 draft picks.
They need a whole offensive line worth.
Right. And now a defense too.
Right.
I've said this before too. I lived in Washington for years and years, and I watch what happens when your team constantly sells away your future to buy your tomorrow, and it doesn't pan out, and you have a nightmare of a franchise. It's never worked in Washington. It hasn't worked in other cities that have done it. It's finding that balance between, you know, making smart trades and smart draft moves, and being able to draft the correct players and being able to pick up veterans, and finding that balance. And it's some of it's luck and some of it's skill, and you can't sell away your future to get somebody, because there's no guarantees.
You want to win now? Look at the LA Rams. They got Von Miller and Odell Beckham, and ever since they did that, they haven't won.
Right.
So, you know, you want to,
they did everything they could to craft like a go out and win the Super Bowl team this year. And I mean, maybe they will, but they aren't burning up the town at all.
Right. Maybe they'll figure it out, but you know, there's no great solution. It annoyed me that the Steelers picked up somebody off a practice squad, off a Saints practice squad, like a defensive tackle or something like that. Why weren't we doing this sooner? I don't care. I don't care if I don't care what the situation is. Pick up every offensive lineman and defensive lineman off every team that you can now. Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, we've been dealing with injuries especially along the defensive line since week 1. So why all of a sudden yesterday in Mike Tomlin's press conference, he says, well, I'll make changes, because, we're trending in the wrong direction. And it's like, how are you going to change the defensive line with nobody's there to swap in there? You know what I mean?
Like, what are you changing it to?
What are we gonna do with John McGlue and Joe Haig and
right?
No.
And Zach Banner is not playing. What the heck is going on there? He got to be hurt.
I've been scratching my head for weeks on that one, and I don't understand it at all. Why wouldn't you do some shuffling around on the O-line a little bit and at least give him a chance to get in there?
Yeah. That's the only change. When I was thinking about it, I was like, changes, what could they do? That's really the only change besides maybe Matt Canada coming down from the booth, which maybe
I was so excited to see Banner finally come back. I tweeted about it. I talked about it. I kept waiting for him to come in. And I'm shocked that there hasn't been any effort when what we're doing is not working. It would be different if our O-line was great and we didn't need him, but why not give him a chance?
Well,
he's hungry.
When he came back, when he got off the injured list, the line actually was doing okay. Well. So I could say it's like, okay, I can understand you don't want to mess up the continuity,
but not the past few weeks.
Yeah, past few weeks.
What continuity? The only continuity is garbage. Continual garbage.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Continual hold.
They're continually bad. Yeah, they're continually crap. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'd like to say I feel better, but no, I thought I would feel better after venting. No, I'm not.
I have more of a headache now, but you know what'll make you feel better?
You have a headache because you had a bag on your head.
Right. Well, that's
you couldn't breathe. Your oxygen.
Hyperventilating.
You know what'll make me feel better? I'm going to show we're going to do a little show and tell if you guys ready with your show and tell?
We're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. I think I'll kick it off because it's quite a doozy. So I have this Ben Roethlisberger ornament.
I love it. I have that same one.
He rotates. I put him on one of those rotating things, ornament rotators. And so that I've had this for probably since maybe 2006, 2007. And I want to say it was 2009. I have it up. It's right before, right after Thanksgiving. He's hanging on the motor, doing his rotating thing. All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, he drops to the ground. Or I hear something drop to the ground. I look at the tree, Ben's on the floor. And I'm like, oh no, Ben. I go to pick him up. I shit you not, high ankle sprain 3 days later.
It's the Ben Roethlisberger.
It's a voodoo doll.
Right? And that's not even it, right? So I put it on. It's fine. You know what I mean? Blah, 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 blah. Today, I go to take it out to, do the, if he breaks, if his hand comes off against the Ravens, we know why.
Right. His hand's just laying on the middle of the field.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, I've had to put it together with this silly stuff. And
that's funny. I have the same one. I had no idea he falls apart.
You got a voodoo doll. That's crazy.
I know. It is kind of crazy. So I'm hoping that, you heard it here first, if his arm falls, if his hand is just dangling.
We'll be going to Allison for all the voodoo predictions before each game.
Don't drop him on his head. He'll get decapitated.
Right. Yeah. Don't do that. That would be terrible.
Right. I don't even think there's an option, at least with, with these things, that's where they're put together in the factory or whatever. But his head, thankfully, there's no way for his head to come off.
That's awesome.
So we should be okay there.
You think?
I think.
There's always a way.
My goodness.
Right.
My only thing is I got Eaton Park glasses of
I get the same ones.
Bradshaw and
I love those.
Green and Jack Lambert and Franco.
Nice.
So
I love it.
So Eaton Park knows who the legends are.
They do.
Yours are in better shape than mine. Mine are all faded and
it's like the chippy. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so these are from 1996.
Wow.
Oh, they're in good shape. You must keep them down there in the cave though and not use them. Mine went through rotation in my cabinet and all the paint came off.
I was thinking of
along with all of my glasses from the bus's grill, from the Bettis grill. I bought a whole set of them when I was there one time.
Oh yeah.
They had like the 36 on them and all came off. Now I just have plain glasses. And they closed.
I was thinking about busting out the good china for Thanksgiving, but
hey, yeah. Hand wash that. No dishwasher.
That's a good idea.
All right. Well, Allison, I had to stand up a little bit for mine. Allison said Christmas. So this was my Christmas present a few years ago, and my ode to Ryan Clark and all of his talk about the old defense. So I threw my 75 steel curtain shirt tonight for the show.
Very cool.
I had something else picked out, but Allison said Christmas, so I went with something.
Yeah. Ryan Clark. There you go.
Right. There you go, Ryan.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
go Steelers.
Go Steelers.
Go Steelers.
Watch what if you're gonna wear a paper bag, put holes in it so you don't hyperventilate. That's the lesson for tonight.
If they lose next week, which they may lose next week. Maybe I'll think about it.
Oh, they're losing. We didn't even
And
talk about
wrap that Ben in some bubble wrap. We need him for a few more weeks.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, guys. I'll see you.
See ya.